Hey, it's Braulio Rosa with the Broward County Bar Association. Today, I'm honored to have some friends of ours here at the Bar Association, great supporters of the Broward County Bar Association, Karina Cruz and Rob Phraner, owners of Horizon Legal Solutions. Welcome, folks.
Thank you, Braulio. It's an honor to be here today.
Thank you, Braulio.
So tell us a little bit about your business, the services that you provide, and how you help attorneys.
So we provide interpreters and translators nationwide. We have over 175 languages available nationwide. We not only send people to court or to your offices to interpret for your clients, but we also do document translations, and we even do audio files in any language, pretty much anywhere, again, in the United States. That's pretty much what sets us apart. It's really that I was a paralegal for 8 years, so we understand how the legal, how law firms work, how the legal field operates. And also our operations manager was a paralegal for about 16 years. So we get you guys, we know the stress that you work under, we know how it is, you want it done yesterday, and we're here to make your life easy and to deliver for you all.
And do you cover all languages? I know there's, everyone, the typical ones are Spanish and Creole probably down here, maybe Portuguese, but what about all these other languages out there?
We do any language. I know because I look Spanish, I'm always asked, is Spanish the only thing you guys provide? No. We have Swahili, we have Nepali interpreters, we have Japanese, Cantonese, Mandarin, you name it, we have it. So you can call us for any language and not just Spanish.
And are you able to respond quickly? I have a personal story, but please.
Well, my personal, I don't want to call it a demand, but I ask of my staff that your emails get answered within 5 minutes, because we understand that you want it off your desk, you want it gone from your inbox. So our goal is to reply to your emails within 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, I know one of our president had reached out and said, hey, I need an interpreter. It was for Ukrainian, which I would think is not that common. And you were able to put it together for us pretty quickly.
Yes, I did. I'm happy that we were able to help one of the members here of the Broward Bar, and we provided that Ukrainian interpreter. It's rare, but now with all the Ukrainians immigrating here from their countries and all over Europe, we've had a larger request, more demand for it now, for sure.
So is it only interpretation verbal, like in the courthouse or depots? Is there written kind of interpretation also?
So yes, Braulio, it's both written and oral. So, if you have a document, if you have a birth certificate, if you have a divorce decree, for probate attorneys, we get a lot of stuff from Canada that they have to send correspondence to their beneficiaries in Canada with all the Canadian people that come here. So we do the document translation for that, and we have trials. I actually teach a CLE on the different tiers of that an interpreter can be. So an interpreter can be a certified interpreter, a registered court interpreter, and you can't just have like your friend go to court and interpret for you.
Yeah, talk about that, because that's what I would think that a lot of people would be like, well, you get such and such, fulano de tal, to come and just do translation. What are the certifications? How do people qualify to work for you and to actually officially be able to do this?
So we screen everyone. Everyone sends us a video. We also check their credentials, and they're either certified, language skilled, provisionally approved, or registered. A registered interpreter is the first step, telling the court system, we're doing this seriously, and we want to become an interpreter. So you always have to reach out to the certified interpreter first. You can't just, if you go to court, most judges, if you're not certified, they're not going to let you, for a trial anyways, they're not going to let you interpret. We check their credentials, we have them do a video, but for a certified interpreter, I'm sure a lot of you don't know this, but the Supreme Court of Florida certifies interpreters in the state of Florida.
Really?
It's not just like an organization, or like I went to, Broward Community College and got an interpreting, degree. That's not how you get certified in Florida.
So there is a process through the Supreme Court.
That is correct, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they have to do a 3-day workshop, an oral exam, a verbal exam, and 20 hours of courtroom observation, and they have a certification number, so they have to also keep up their continuing education credits.
So, off camera, we were talking earlier about the importance of understanding being sensitive to cultural issues. Can you tell us about the time with the folks not translating properly?
Sure, I could.
Or actually, it wasn't even that. It was a religious thing.
Yes, there are a lot of translation work is done overseas, and they're very particular. One particular case, they wanted someone to translate Urdu, and it was someone from the nation of Pakistan, and we had someone, but they were from India. So the Pakistani Muslim did not agree with an Indian Hindu to do the translation work. So our job, when we get information from the law offices, from the paralegals, we try to match exactly not just the language, but also where are they from. There are several languages, Spanish, we just mentioned that. For instance, certain countries like Guatemala have over 20 different variations, different dialects of Spanish. So if someone says, oh, they're from this town or they're from the capital, we can match better.
Really? In Guatemala, within the countries themselves?
23 different
23,
dialects, yep.
To be exact, yes,
Yeah.
sir. So that's part of what we do. We want to have the best with the best credentials to be on each case, each on each. Mm-hmm.
And something else that we look for, it's like if you send off, we can tell if it's a family law case, if it's a probate or maritime law case, or a medical malpractice case. Like for instance, we have medically certified interpreters. So if you have a med mal case, you want to make sure that you let the agency know, and that's why it's so important also to hire the interpreter directly through the agency so that your request doesn't get lost in translation. It happens a lot. Yeah. So like let's say if you have a big case, do yourself a favor and call the agency directly and tell them, hey, this is a personal injury case or a med mal case, or like for instance, we had a case where we covered it in Germany. It was with a lot of manufacturing terminology, and we had 2 German interpreters at the Mercedes plant interpreting for, actually it was a Miami lawyer, but everything was done via Zoom.
It's interesting you said that because, there are certain languages within the language, and what I'm trying to say is like it's technical language. So you could, especially like someone who's bilingual like me, but you learned to speak Spanish at home, if you had to talk about engineering things, I don't know all those terms, those technical terms, so I can imagine it's very important to go through a certification process that people know the language that, and even very detailed in that specific area.
Yes, and like when you have a case, like it's okay to give the interpreter, I know it's extra work for the paralegals and the legal assistants, but the interpreter will be very prepared to render a better interpretation when you can give a copy of the complaint. For instance, the other day we had a French case from Paris, and French interpreter, of course, but there was a lot of chemical, like a lot of, it was something with chemicals.
So chemical engineering or...
Right, and...
Chemist.
Right, it was a chemist. It was like formulas and stuff like that. So, and H2O
specific language,
and
very
all that
specific.
stuff. Right, so, like they actually had to terminate the depot. The interpreter didn't feel comfortable, and you want to avoid all that because time is money. So... if you provide the agency with a copy of or at least an idea of what the case is about, that helps a lot. For workers' comp cases, we actually have our interpreters pull the petition of benefits and look at the description of the accident so they can familiarize themselves with the terminology,
So for workers' comp, you do a lot of interpretation in the workers' comp area?
For workers' comp and for maritime law, too, like, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, the cruise ships.
Sense.
Yeah, because they're usually, foreigners working on their ships. Yeah. Or if somebody falls and it's an American and one of the workers witnessed it, they'll take the depot here. Right. And but yeah, it's a very interesting law out there. And I discussed with you that I have a CLE on using skill interpreters, which is approved by the Florida Bar, and we're gonna plan in the future to share with you guys. There are a lot of interesting things to know in the interpreting world, which is usually gets ignored. But it's good to know. That way you're prepared when you don't have to turn down a client because your staff doesn't speak the language like Creole or, Portuguese or German. And we're here to help you guys, And then another thing is that we are the only agency.
Oh, yes. That's something that it's been many, many years in the making, but Horizon has, as of 4 years ago, or even a little more than that, actually, has the official seal of approval, the recognition from the Florida Bar Association, which is we're the only language company translation in the state of Florida to earn that. designation. So we are approved by the Florida Bar, and we're the only one. So we, obviously our standards are higher. We just talked about that. We try to get the specific right person in. So it's not just a generic translation company. We're very specific, and we're very grateful that the Board of Governors of the Florida Bar approved our proposal, and means a lot to us. So
That's a great stamp of approval from the Florida Bar. I want to kind of start winding this down, but I want to have a little fun with it. The importance of translation. I know how critical it is being bilingual and actually kind of trilingual. Rusty now, but Hebrew. That's a story for another day. Tell us that little story about
sure.
the judge, the comment that he
Yeah.
made to you. I thought, that's really important to just nuance in language.
yes, we were at the Boca Raton at the annual conference for the Florida lawyers, and a judge walked by, a state Supreme Court judge, saw our table where it said Horizon, Legal Solutions translation work, and he stopped, and he just turned to me and just started sharing the story unsolicited, and I thought it was excellent. He said, your company is so important. It is so important to get just the right translation, the right words. He said, when Jimmy Carter, and he threw out Jimmy Carter. Now we're going back 45 years.
Yeah.
He said when Jimmy Carter was president and visited Germany, he was giving a speech in front of the German people, and he said an expression that in English he said, it warms my heart to be here and see all you. And the translator basically in German said something where all the people's eyes got wide, their mouths gaped open, and the translator said, I lust in my heart after you. Instead of my heart, my heart is warmed after you. So he wanted to share that story with me, where he just felt it, to share that, and he kept on walking. It just reinforced to me the importance of us finding the exact right translator for that case, or the right, for a written document translator for in-person interpretation.
Something I always say, Braulio, it's that avoid litigation and hire an interpreter. Pay a couple $100. Anytime your client's making an important decision, a mediation settlement agreement, closing documents, it's a couple $100. I know a lot of people like to use their family member or friend, but you don't know what the family member, especially if you're a non-Spanish or whatever language, your client needs, speaking lawyer, you don't know what the other person's telling them. I've seen cases where, like for instance in comp, the claimant challenges the mediation settlement agreement because the attorney spoke Spanish, and they said, that's not what the attorney told me. When they go back to the office to get the closing statement for the net that he's gonna get, he fires the lawyer and hires another lawyer, and then it gets the whole mediation settlement agreement gets challenged in workers' comp court. So avoid the headaches. It's only a couple $100. It's not thousands, and you're definitely doing a better service for your client by having a certified interpreter present. How
do people get a hold of you?
So you can email us. The email is the word schedule at horizonls.com, and our website is www.horizonls.com, or you can call us at 561-602-7260. Again, 561-602-7260. We have a 1-800 number, but that 561 will get you there faster. Our 1-800 number is 1-800-315-1663.
And if anyone's asking the question, like, would this company be able to do this, whatever language? The answer is yes. Over 18 years, we've done over 175 different languages, and we have interpreters around the world. So yes, whatever walks in your office, and I actually know an attorney who told me that he turns down some work because he just doesn't know who to go to. I said, please don't miss any more work. Call us.
And I know firsthand that you responded right away and got it done, and the person was very happy. So I can definitely recommend you all.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Braulio.
Ralph.
Thank you.
So thank you for coming and spending some time and educating our members about your services. And I hope you'll come back another time.
Yes, thank you. It was great.
Thank you.